Panasonic surprised us all upon release of this lens. Manual focus, fixed f8, what were they thinking? But as it turns out, things are not what they seem, and after actually using this lens, I was left with a positive impression. Let's take a closer look. It is as tiny as it can get, only 2 cm tall and weighing 57 grams. It is entirely made from plastic, but assembled well together. Nothing to object here. At the backside you can see electrical contacts. They transmit EXIF information into the camera and lens profile corrections can be applied. Manual focus ring has short travel. I wish it had hard stops at infinity, hyperfocal and maybe 2 or 3 other focus distances. Focus is internal. You can see how elements move within the lens. There is no front cap nor the option to attach one. Front element is always exposed like this. Also, there is no filter thread. Sadly, I got the lens only after I had to return the S9 body, which it was primarily made for, so I have tested it on my S1. Now this is a combination you don't see every day. When it comes to sharpness, I compared it with a very good 20-60mm lens set at 26 and f8. As you can see, there is virtually no difference at the center of the frame. On blind test, no one could tell the difference. Corners show that 20-60mm zoom is superior. Just notice how many more details are rendered on the brick wall. Still, I wouldn't describe pancake lens as bad in corners, just mediocre. Also, I noticed it has slight field curvature. In this example, first row shows crops from an image with focus set to infinity by focus magnification at the center of the frame. Corners are quite weak. Once I focused carefully at the corners, both center and corners ended up pretty sharp. Keep this in mind if you keep getting fuzzy corners. This lens is not corrected for focus breathing, so there's lots of it. Lateral chromatic aberrations are not a thing with this lens. In-camera lens corrections remove them automatically, but if results are good, who cares? Longitudinal chromatic aberrations are not present as well. Geometry is corrected in camera, so I couldn't notice any. No light fall off as far as I can see. Probably another in-camera correction, but this is f8 lens, so there is probably not much vignetting to start with. Flare can happen with strong light sources near the edge of the frame. It's pretty colorful and actually can be used as a creative element. Depending on the angle, I was able to produce various colors. Don't worry about it, embrace it. It's a $200 lens. With 25 cm closest focus and only 0.14 times magnification, this is not a lens I would recommend for regular close-up shooting. Still, I have to point out that it keeps the same level of resolution and contrast at close focusing like with infinity focus. Bokeh is also quite solid with nice and roundly rendered light sources. As the lens has no aperture, there cannot be a sunstar. So I went out in the evening to see how much of a limit fixed f8 would be. Obviously, if you need to freeze movement, it will be a problem, but for casual snapshots of static subjects, it is fine. All Panasonic full-frame cameras have IBIS, which is probably one of the best on the market. I was pushing close to 1 second exposure handheld and images turned out fine. Never went above ISO 6000 during blue hour. Ignoring obvious usability restrictions, I was actually quite surprised with Panasonic 26mm lens performance. It takes perfectly fine images. Sharp, with good contrast and no obvious optical flaws apart from flare, but it's a given for a simple construction such as this one. Overall, it is above my expectations. On a blind test, I would say these images were taken with some typical budget autofocus kit lens. If you have a usage case where you are fine with manual focus and fixed aperture, go for it. You won't be disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I still want Panasonic to make proper autofocus variable aperture pancake lenses. But for now, this is quite fun little lens to play with. That's all for this review. If you have a question, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. For those of you in Croatia, you can find me in real life in Anigota store where I work, and those of you from other countries, please use Amazon affiliate links, as I get a small commission from every purchase. Thanks for watching.